Hello everyone, Eric here and welcome to my computational science video tutorials. In this video we're going to be looking at making condition statements in Python. And the first thing we're going to look at is how to use something called if for an if statement. Sometimes we call this a branching statement. And to give you an example, we might get some sort of choice from the user. Perhaps their choice is 1. And based on this choice we're going to choose what we're going to do in the program. So let's say they choose 1. We want to say if their choice is equal to 0, then we're going to do something. And the syntax for this in Python is we use the double equal to indicate are the two different things equal. And then the colon indicates that we're at the end of this condition or this control. Now when we hit enter in PyCharm, you'll see that we're automatically indented by 4 spaces. And this 4-space indent means that we're in a control block. So if this is true, we're going to print choice, actually I should put that in quotes, choice was 0. We could do some other things. We could say, we could maybe make a variable x equals 0. And we could then say x equals x, x equals 5. So we can do a few things, and as long as we're indented, this is all part of our choice. We could also say if the choice is greater than 1, print, the choice was too big. Oops, I should put the, I don't know why I'm not putting this in quotes. I should put this in quotes. Choice, oops, what? Choice was too big. All right. So these are the sort of choices we might be making, and we can use our logical operators like the double equal means are the two things equal. Perhaps we're playing a guessing game. We might want to say, well, if the choice is not equal to 0. For this, I'm going to say that the choice is equal to 0. But we can have some things, like we can say, well, if the choice is less than 0, invalid choice, right? Maybe we want to say the choice should be positive. And we might set up some sort of system. I'm going to get rid of x. So we might set up some sort of system where the choice indicates what direction you want to move. So we might want to have something like 1 is forward, 2 maybe would be backwards, 3 would be right, and 4 would be left. So if we have a video game, we might have a number for forward, backward, right, and left. And maybe we get this choice from a keypad, or maybe the user types this choice in. And it's just going to tell us which direction we want the player to move. So if the choice was 0, maybe that means no movement. If the choice is less than 0, that's bad. But we might also want to say if the choice is equal to 1, print, move forward. Now here, we keep entering all these different if statements, but there's another kind of statement which we can put in where I can say I can basically say if the choice, I'm going to reorganize these because we have a lot of choices. So I'm just going to start out by saying maybe if choice is less than 0. So I'm going to copy this up here, I think. All right, so if the choice is less than 0, else I want to say something else will happen. And the else basically means something else is going to happen. So the choice should be positive. Otherwise, we're going to say if the choice is 0, we're going to do something. So the if statements can be alone, or they can be joined with an else statement. But there is a third kind of statement, which is called an else if, or elif. And with the elif, I can say elif choice equals 0. And that's going to take over for these. And I can basically keep turning my ifs into elifs. And elif is just a shorthand for else if. And here we can say choice equals, whoops. I think this should not be indented. I just wanted to copy. And we'll keep pasting a few of these. And then we'll say 1. Then we'll have for choice 2, 3, and 4. So that was forward, backward, right, left. So what we can do is we can basically If we run this now, we're going to see that everything was choosing to go forward. So I'm going to right click. We're going down to run because this is the first time I'm running. And we can see that the result says move forward. If I choose 2, then it's going to tell us that we're moving backwards. All right, and we can see that in the results. We can try 3. Quickly run that. We move right. And then if we put 4 in here, we can run that. We move left. If we put 5 in here and we run that, we maybe want to tell them something. So if they don't choose this, we can just say else. Now else is kind of a catch-all. So else would be any kind of choice. And what I'm going to say, print invalid choice selection. So if we have an else without an else if all the ifs above it fail, then we're going to fall into the else. So this is just kind of a basic overview of the if statement with some of the Boolean controls. Now I've done a video on Boolean controls before, but I'll quickly repeat them here. Double equal is to compare. It's basically saying if I'm going to use x and y as a generic variable, and we're going to say, are they equal? Likewise, we can do something like x less than or equal to y, and that's kind of what we would think. Same thing with x is less than y. These are natural. We have x greater than y, x greater than or equal to y. These are all just kind of as we kind of assume. Maybe I'll put these on one line. I like the way that looks. Now we also have a few that might not be quite as logical. We have x not equal to y. And these are just going to do a comparison. If x and y don't have the same value, then this is going to return false. And these are just kind of the main kind of choices we're going to do. We're going to say if something. There are a few other things that can come up as Boolean operators, but I think if you just sort of read through the documentation or see it or ask about it, I can hopefully expand on those as needed. All right, that's everything for this video. Thank you for your time and keep on coding.